thing about a Brian Hales story? He always gets a cool opening sequence. Welcome to the Time Treadmill. I'm Ron, and these are my sweaty thoughts about Doctor Who. Brian Hales was the writer for the Ice Warriors, and if you remember, that had amazing opening title sequences with the big bold fonts and the 1, 2, 3, 4. Great opening sequence. Well, Hales has returned with a sequel to the Ice Warriors. This one is called The Seeds of Death. Not to be confused with The Seeds of Doom. That's Tom Baker and a giant alien crinoid. This is totally different. So The Seeds of Death is a 6-episode story, and each episode opens with a shot that is similar, but slightly different based on the setting of that particular episode. So the first episode opens with a camera deep in space, a long shot. The camera pans across from the backside of the moon across to the Earth. And then the sequence dissolves into a scene set on the Earth. The second episode is the same shot in reverse. It's a deep space camera panning across the Earth and to the moon and dissolves into a scene set on the moon. Now, I haven't gotten there quite yet. This will happen tomorrow. But given that the climax of the second episode has the Doctor and Jamie and Zoe aboard a rocket ship traveling from the Earth to the moon and a disaster unfolding, the opening shot from the third episode opens with the same kind of thing, except instead of focusing on either the Earth or the moon, the shot stops inner space and focuses on the rocket itself. It's a really cool thematic design, and it echoes from episode to episode to episode. I don't know how Brian Hales pulled off always having visually unique opening sequences to unify his story, but I really wish more of the writers would have done something like that. It's a great style choice and really speaks volumes for Hales' talent as a visual writer. As for the story itself, 2 episodes in and the titular seeds haven't even come into it yet. I think I'll get to those tomorrow. But the primary conflict thus far is a really interesting meditation on the evolution of technology. In this case, at some point, Earth developed transmat capabilities, the ability to transfer matter from one location to another location. And similar to the way Moonbase had a moon station controlling all of Earth's weather, Seeds of Death has a moon base controlling all of the transmat materials going from station to station on Earth. With the advent of transmat, all other forms of transportation atrophied. In fact, it winds up being the same kind of just-in-time fulfillment that drives our own modern supply chain. And just in the same way, the COVID-19 pandemic has shown the cracks in that kind of supply chain and the kind of massive shortages that can happen on critical goods when there's a combination of a run on demand and a disruption of the supply chain. With the Seeds of Death, the Ice Warriors show up on the moon station, cripple the transmat facility worldwide, and Earth literally has no way to get to the moon to fix it. Except one particular aging rocket scientist who still has a rocket in his space museum that is almost capable of making the journey. Toss into the mix the Doctor and Jamie and Zoe showing up in this rocket scientist space museum, and here you have a ready-made crew to fix the rocket and travel to the moon and address the problem. True to the second Doctor era, this starts out as a base under siege story, and through the second episode it continues to be that. It will expand out a little bit in the later episodes, but this is just classic second Doctor story writing, and I absolutely love it. I love the pacing, I love everything about it. I'm frankly embarrassed that I totally forgot that it even existed. It took until just a couple of days ago before I remembered this story was coming up. I won't go quite as far as to say it's one of my favorite second Doctor stories. There are several others I rank well above this, but this is a very good story. I highly recommend it if you want to seek it out, either on DVD or on BritBox or whatever the streaming service of choice is for you. But this one I love. Like I say, I've got another 2 days on this story, and with that I'm going to wrap it up for the day. And as I always say, stay home and stay safe, be kind, be patient, and I will see you tomorrow.